Look closely at your life, not with fear, but with awareness. There is something in your house right now, something small, silent, and easily ignored. It does not shout. It does not demand your attention. Yet it slowly steals your peace, your clarity, your energy. And because it feels familiar, you allow it to stay. This is the way danger often enters, not as a storm, but as dust settling quietly in the corners of your mind and space. You hold on to things you no longer need. Objects filled with old emotions. Broken items, unused clutter, things tied to memories that no longer serve you. You think they are harmless, but everything you keep carries a weight. And over time, that weight becomes your burden. A home is not just walls and furniture. It is a reflection of your inner state. When your space is crowded, your thoughts become crowded. When your surroundings are heavy, your spirit feels heavy. You may not notice it at first, but slowly your energy fades, your focus weakens, and your peace disappears. Ask yourself, why do you keep what no longer serves you? Is it attachment? Is it fear of letting go? Or is it simply unconscious habit? The truth is simple: what you refuse to release begins to control you. That old item you haven't touched in years, it holds stagnant energy. That broken object you promised to fix, it whispers unfinished thoughts into your mind. That clutter in your corner, it quietly drains your clarity every single day. You do not need all of this. Freedom is not found in holding more. It is found in needing less. When you remove what is unnecessary, something powerful happens. Your space begins to breathe. Your mind becomes still. Your heart feels lighter. This is not magic, it is alignment. Look around your house today with new eyes. Not as an owner, but as an observer. Notice what feels heavy. Notice what feels forgotten. Notice what no longer belongs to the life you are trying to create. And then, without hesitation, let it go. Do not overthink, do not delay. The longer you wait, the deeper the attachment grows. Peace does not enter a space that is already full. You must create room for it. Understand this deeply: the danger is not the object itself. The danger is your attachment to it. The danger is the unconscious habit of holding on to what weighs you down. When you release it, you are not losing anything. You are reclaiming your energy. A clear space leads to a clear mind. A clear mind leads to a peaceful life. So today, choose awareness over attachment. Choose lightness over burden. Choose peace over possession. And if you see something in your house that no longer serves your growth, toss it immediately. Not because it is bad, but because you are ready to move forward. Hidden danger is silent, not obvious. The real harm in your house is not loud or visible. It quietly affects your peace, focus, and energy over time. The danger that affects your life the most is rarely the one that announces itself loudly. It does not come crashing through your door or demand your immediate attention. Instead, it lives quietly around you, blending into your daily environment so seamlessly that you forget it is even there. This is the nature of hidden danger. It survives by remaining unnoticed. In your home, there are things that seem completely harmless. Objects that have been sitting in the same place for months, even years. You walk past them every day without a second thought. Because they do not disturb you directly, you assume they have no impact on your life. But what is silent is not always safe. Every object carries a presence. It may not speak, but it influences you in subtle ways. A cluttered corner, an unused item, something broken that you keep postponing to fix. These things create a quiet tension in your environment. You may not consciously recognize it, but your mind does. It registers the unfinished, the unnecessary, the stagnant. Over time, this silent accumulation begins to affect your inner state. You might feel distracted without knowing why. You may struggle to focus, to relax, or to feel truly at peace in your own space. It is not because something dramatic has happened. It is because of the slow, invisible weight that has been building around you. This is how hidden danger works. It does not overwhelm you in a single moment. It drains you gradually, day by day. A little less clarity, a little less energy, a little less calm, until one day you feel heavy without understanding the reason. The mind is deeply connected to its surroundings. When your environment is filled with things that serve no purpose, your thoughts begin to mirror that confusion. When your space lacks order, your thinking loses its sharpness. You begin to carry a subtle restlessness within you, as if something is always unresolved. The most difficult part is that you become used to it. What once might have felt uncomfortable slowly becomes normal. You adapt to the clutter, to the heaviness, to the lack of clarity. And because it becomes familiar, you stop questioning it. But awareness changes everything. The moment you begin to truly observe your surroundings, you start to notice what you once ignored. You see the items that no longer belong. You feel the weight you have been carrying without realizing it. And in that moment, you understand that the danger was never in something obvious, it was in what you allowed to remain without awareness. When you remove these silent burdens, even something as simple as a single unnecessary object, you create a shift. The space feels lighter. Your mind follows. There is a sense of relief, not because something new was added, but because something old was finally released. This is the quiet power of awareness. It reveals that what seems harmless can slowly shape your experience of life. And once you see it clearly, you are no longer controlled by it. Clutter carries emotional and mental weight. Unused, broken, or old items are not just physical objects, they hold stagnant energy that burdens your mind. Clutter is more than just physical objects scattered around your home. It carries an unseen weight that reaches deep into your mind and spirit. Every item you keep, even if it seems insignificant, holds energy, emotional, mental, or spiritual, that affects your state of being. A broken vase, an old piece of clothing, a stack of papers that you never touch, all of these things are not neutral. They silently influence how you think, how you feel, and how you interact with the world around you. When you hold on to things you no longer need, you are also holding on to the emotions and memories tied to them. Perhaps it is nostalgia, guilt, or obligation that prevents you from letting go. You tell yourself that someday you might use it again, or that throwing it away would be wasteful. Yet in reality, these items sit as anchors, weighing down your energy and limiting your ability to move freely. Each object, though small and seemingly harmless, becomes part of a network of stagnant energy that slowly seeps into your daily life. The connection between clutter and the mind is profound. When your surroundings are crowded, your thoughts become crowded too. Your mind begins to struggle with focus because it is constantly being reminded of unfinished business, past regrets, or tasks you have delayed. This subtle distraction creates tension without you even realizing it. It is not that the items are inherently negative, but the attachment you have to them creates friction within your mental and emotional state. Even objects with sentimental value can carry weight if they no longer serve a positive purpose. Memories tied to items can keep you anchored in the past, preventing you from fully embracing the present. You may think keeping these things on as memories or loved ones, but what you are really doing is storing energy that no longer supports you. Over time, this accumulation can make your home feel heavy, your mind feel restless, and your spirit feel drained. The act of removing clutter is an act of liberation. By letting go of items that no longer serve you, you free your mind from their hidden influence. The physical space clears, and with it, the mental space opens up. You create room for clarity, peace, and renewed energy. This process is not about minimalism for the sake of aesthetics. It is about releasing the invisible weight that has been holding you back. Every object you release is a step toward a lighter, more balanced life. Clutter is not just a matter of organization, it is a reflection of the unseen burdens we carry. Recognizing the emotional and mental weight of these items allows you to act consciously. When you release them, you are not losing memories or possessions, you are reclaiming your energy, your focus, and your inner calm. This is the subtle power of removing what no longer serves you. Your outer space reflects your inner state. A messy, crowded home leads to a distracted, heavy, and unclear mind. Your home is not merely a collection of walls, furniture, and decorations. It is a mirror of your inner world, reflecting your thoughts, emotions, and energy. When your surroundings are cluttered, chaotic, or filled with unnecessary items, it affects more than just the physical space. It affects your mind, heart, and spirit. Every object you keep communicates something to you, whether consciously or unconsciously, shaping the way you experience life each day. A crowded environment leads to a crowded mind. When you walk into a room filled with excess items, your attention is divided without even realizing it. Your brain notices the unfinished tasks, the items you haven't used in years, the objects tied to past memories, and the energy they carry. Slowly, this subtle tension builds inside you. It may show up as distraction, irritability, or an inability to focus, but the root cause is often your environment. Your home and your mind are deeply intertwined, and imbalance in one inevitably reflects in the other. The things you keep also speak to your attachments. Objects are not dangerous on their own, but your unwillingness to release them creates an invisible weight. We often attach ourselves to possessions out of habit, fear, or comfort, convincing ourselves that letting go would be loss. In reality, clinging to these items holds us back from growth. Every unnecessary object is a tether to the past, limiting your ability to fully embrace the present and move forward with clarity and freedom. A home filled with clutter or outdated items is like a stagnant river. When water does not flow, it becomes murky and heavy. Similarly, energy in a crowded or disorderly home stagnates. When your surroundings are heavy, your spirit feels heavy and your mind becomes less capable of clear thought and creative insight. It is not always obvious at first because this influence is gradual and quiet, but over time it shapes your moods, your focus, and even your decisions. Creating a harmonious home requires conscious attention to what you allow to remain in your space. Letting go of items that no longer serve a purpose is not an act of waste, but an act of liberation. As you remove unnecessary objects, you clear more than physical space, you clear mental space. Your mind becomes lighter, your thoughts more focused, and your energy more aligned. Your surroundings are a reflection of your inner self, and your inner self thrives when the environment supports clarity, calm, and simplicity. By intentionally releasing what no longer belongs, you create a home that fosters peace, balance, and mindful living. The condition of your home is a mirror of the state of your mind, and tending to it with awareness allows your spirit to flourish. Attachment is the real problem. The danger is not the object itself, but your inability to let go of things that no longer serve you. Attachment is one of the most subtle forms of danger in your life, and it often hides in the everyday objects around you. You may look at a broken vase, an old piece of furniture, or stacks of papers and see nothing threatening. Yet the real danger is not in the objects themselves, it is in your relationship with them. When you hold on to things out of habit, fear, or sentiment, you create invisible chains that tether your energy, distract your mind, and weigh down your spirit. What seems harmless can slowly dictate the quality of your thoughts, emotions, and even actions. Every object you cling to carries more than just its physical presence. It holds memory, emotion, and energy, and your attachment to it reinforces that weight. An item that you keep just in case silently reminds you of unfinished tasks, past regrets, or decisions you've postponed. Your mind registers this, whether consciously or not, and it becomes a subtle drain on your focus and calm. The longer the attachment, the heavier the influence, and the more it controls your experience without your awareness. This is why attachment is dangerous. It transforms ordinary possessions into sources of tension, and search for a reason, not realizing that the items you refuse to release are the cause. A home filled with unnecessary objects reflects a mind filled with unresolved thoughts. When your surroundings are cluttered or heavy, your inner world mirrors that chaos. Thoughts become crowded, energy becomes scattered, and even moments of peace feel fleeting. Yet recognizing attachment is the first step toward freedom. Awareness allows you to see that the danger does not come from what you own, but from what you refuse to release. Objects, memories, or habits that no longer serve you are safe to let go. The act of releasing is not about loss, it is about reclamation. Each item you release lightens your space and your mind. You create room for clarity, for focus, and for the energy to flow naturally. The practice of letting go transforms not just your environment, but your inner state. It cultivates discernment, teaching you to value what truly matters and to distinguish between need and attachment. As you release, the heaviness diminishes. Your home feels lighter, your thoughts feel sharper, and your spirit feels freer. The subtle danger of attachment is replaced with awareness, and in that awareness you discover peace. Attachment may seem harmless at first, but its quiet influence can shape your life more than you realize. By observing your relationships with the things you keep and choosing to release what no longer serves, you can create a more balanced and fulfilling life. You regain control over your space, your mind, and your energy. Freedom is found not in accumulation, but in conscious release. Letting go creates peace and clarity. Removing unnecessary items frees your space, calms your mind, and allows positive energy to flow into your life. Letting go is one of the most profound actions you can take, yet it is also one of the simplest. When you release items that no longer serve you, you are not just clearing physical space, you are clearing mental and emotional space as well. Every object that occupies your home has an effect on your energy, your thoughts, and your sense of well-being. The things you keep out of habit, obligation, or attachment quietly influence your state of mind, often in ways you do not notice. Removing them is an act of liberation, a deliberate choice to reclaim your clarity, peace, and focus. Every item in your home carries energy. A broken object, a stack of forgotten papers, or clutter that has been left untouched for years does not exist in isolation. It interacts with the space around it, with your attention and with your emotions. When your environment is filled with unnecessary objects, your energy becomes fragmented. You may feel restless, distracted, or emotionally heavy without understanding the source of these feelings. The simple act of letting go allows you to release this stagnant energy, opening your surroundings to a sense of flow and lightness. Letting go is not merely a physical act, it is a mental and emotional practice. It requires awareness, honesty, and the courage to confront attachment. Often we hold on to things because they are tied to memories, fear of loss, or the illusion of future usefulness. These attachments, though subtle, shape how we experience life. By releasing them, we remove invisible barriers that prevent us from moving freely and fully embracing the present. It is a conscious decision to prioritize peace over possession and clarity over clutter. When you remove what no longer serves you, the impact is immediate and tangible. Your space begins to breathe. The mind, which was weighed down by unnecessary items, becomes lighter. Thoughts feel clearer, decisions feel easier, and the flow of energy in your home and life feels smoother. This process is not about perfection or extreme minimalism, it is about creating an environment that reflects your inner state and supports your well-being. Letting go is also a lesson in trust and acceptance. You learn that peace does not come from holding on to more, but from embracing less. You discover that your energy, your focus, and your clarity are renewed when you allow space for them to exist. Every item released is a step toward freedom. Each choice to let go strengthens your ability to live consciously, mindfully, and in alignment with the life you wish to create. The act of clearing your home mirrors the clearing of your mind, reminding you that true freedom is found not in accumulation, but in the courage to release what weighs you down.